we're in the final now of the competition. Can put that to the side now at this minute, think about it when closer to the time. But naturally delighted we've won, and it was a hard match.
Your first season here and your first final.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's wildly important. Really, don't think it. Not at this stage, Delighted naturally for the fans who all turned up here tonight. It's our crowd, and obviously delighted for the players. But it was difficult. It was a hard game.
And you must feel. What about that red card at the end for Moravcik?
Well, I haven't seen it properly since, but anyway. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe pictures will be able to tell something or other. But what can I say?
Do you think that gives you a psychological edge ahead of Sunday's league game, or will that not?
I thought you might ask that question. No, I don't necessarily believe that. I think I'm delighted to have won the game tonight. I thought we played well against a very, very good Rangers side. I'm not just saying that. They're an excellent passing side, but I thought we deserved to win the game. I thought that in terms of chances that we had, I thought we had the better chances. Larsson scores again, magnificent. We got off to a terrific start as well too. But in terms of psychological boosts, and naturally it won't do us any harm. But Sunday's a different match altogether.
You mentioned Larsson there, another 2 goals from him. He's got a bit of a head knock. Will he be okay for that game?
I'm hoping so, We'll have to patch him up and send him out anyway. He's just absolutely magnificent at the moment. Magnificent. He's in fantastic form. But there are a number of other players in great form as well too for us.
Martin, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Went to 60,000, well, it was just a great moment for me personally. I didn't realise how big the club was until I actually came up here. The support is, well, there's only one word to describe it, and that's phenomenal. There's a real passion here that I don't think is matched anywhere else in the world. But my heart was set on coming here, It's a club that I've always wanted to play for, and obviously allied to the fact that the manager's here as well. That just compounded the feeling, really. And, I've never looked back, really. I've no regrets about coming here whatsoever, and to be honest with you, I haven't missed the Premiership really. This has been, a new world for me and a new game, and playing for this club, it means a lot to me, and I'm really enjoying it at the minute.
It's do or die, isn't it, Sunday? It's do or die Sunday.
Well, I mean, I think for the supporters more than the players. I mean, as I say, it will have a big bearing on the Championship. So, if we could win it, it'll be a big feather in our cap, that's for sure.
You excited?
I'm like a kid at Christmas, to tell you the truth. Just really looking forward to it. I'm going to enjoy the build-up as well, but try not to get, too involved in it and just, concentrate on the 90 minutes because it's going to be the biggest 90 minutes probably of my career so far.
How's Martin O'Neill handling this? Because you know him as a man, and you've seen him in situations at Leicester, but how's he handling this?
Just like he always does, with common sense, and obviously he's very shrewd about all these things, and he's the one who keeps the players calm. I think our disciplinary record's pretty good, so, he hates you getting sent off at any time, but, he'll be hammering home this how much the discipline's going to count on Sunday. And, he's been pretty good throughout the whole thing,
I think everybody's up for every game. It means more, certainly to the team and the supporters beating Rangers because of the rivalry, but approach the game as any other. I don't think there's any complacency here. We know that Sunday's game is a big game, but having said that, I don't think that we need to feel under any pressure. I certainly don't. I think we can go out and enjoy the game on Sunday. If worst comes to the worst and we lose the game, we're still 6 points clear. It's not a game we have to win. It would, be excellent if we did win it.
I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna save it, yeah. So don't you try and fake it anymore.
Chris Sutton's made a big impression since signing for Celtic, helped considerably by the form of the man alongside him, Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, he's a good all-round player, and I enjoy playing with him. He's easy to play with, although you have difficult games against defenders, but he makes my game easier because he plays off us. But he's got everything.
Sutton was a hit with Blackburn as one half of the SAS strike pairing with Alan Shearer, but he reckons his old pal has to play second fiddle to his current partner.
For me, Henrik's a better all-round player. I think he's got everything. He's up and down the park. He can score all sorts of goals, but he contributes a hell of a lot for the team as well. Alan was a very, very strong finisher. Not just a poacher, he holds the ball up well, but for an all-round player, I haven't played with anybody as good as Henry.
Psychologically, if we could win the game, it'll be fantastic for us. Psychologically, if we lose, it'll not be the end of the world. But like anything else, it's obviously a dent.
And will the manager be moderating his own touchline behaviour as well as issuing a cool-it message to his players to prevent another Old Firm match boiling over?
I'm not so sure that my own involvement in the touchline actually carries through to the players. But if it does do, then if that's the case, then I'll try and moderate things in if that's right. And but I think Dick gets reasonably animated himself, so I shall turn around and say to Dick, you moderate yourself as well.
Sunday's unmissable Old Firm match. He'd like to put one or two things straight.
Rangers scored first through Jonathan Johansson, but 2 goals by Celtic's Aja Berkovic gave Celtic a lead. It looked as though they would hold on to until half-time. But a Paul Lambert tackle on Jorg Alberts gave away a penalty, which Alberts himself converted. In the second half, Rangers went on to dominate the match, and 2 further goals by Amoruso and D'Amato secured the points. Well, that's the sport. Time for us to have a look at the weather prospects now.
Despite the efforts of only an excuse to convince you otherwise, I've never been a fan of Rangers, nor that of Celtic as it happens. But as a Glaswegian, I'm very proud of what these clubs have achieved and of their reputation throughout the world, and of course of the great names spawned at Ibrox and Celtic Park. John, can you explain to me what's so different about an Old Firm game?
Check an Old Firm game. It doesn't start on the Saturday of the match or the Sunday now. It starts on the Monday just after you've played the weekend fixtures. The hype from the press, the fans phoning you up, can I get you some tickets from you? That's where it all starts, and it goes on all the way until that 3 o'clock kick-off time.
Were you a nervous wreck when you played in Old Firm games?
I was in a nervous wreck from the Monday onwards. It was better actually not knowing you were playing, because then I wasn't going to get too upset, but if I knew I was involved in the game, right up to kick-off, I was in the toilet more than I was sitting in the dressing room. I was just nervous. Even the first game I played, the Driver Cup final, I actually scored the first goal, and I laid down behind the goals, and I was physically sick. And I like McDonald saying, well done me, man, come on, breathe, get it all up. It was just so nerve-wracking.
Just being beaten to Rangers is the worst thing that can happen to you. You're really, when you win, you're really elated and you feel really good. But the feeling when you get beaten, it's worse. You're really deflated when you get beaten in an Old Firm game. You know how the guys are feeling it's going to work on a Monday, and you just feel you've let everybody down when you get beaten in an Old Firm game.
Every other said that is my day off, and it's off to the match I go.
Now what's the child to be called? I named this child Peter McCloy, Jardine, Matheson, Gray, McKinnon, Smith, Henderson, McLean, Steen, MacDonald, Johnson, Guthrie. Now, I trust you'll have no regrets about this.
Just one.
What's that?
Wish to God it'd been a boy.
Hail, hail, the Celts are here, and Celtic are the greatest team of all.
Bobby, the first time I was ever a guest down here in Lennox Mansions was the day after John Gregg broke your ankle in an Old Firm game, what, about 25 years ago?
That's right, 1976. I remember you and Big Greg coming down that day, Chick, and John actually travelled from Edinburgh that day just to come down to make sure it was broken,
You know, I used to try and wind each other. I mean, I used to respect Danny. He wrote in one of his programmes he hated playing against me, and that gives you a lift. So I'm out playing against him, going to try and wind Danny up. And he'd just been given his MBE, and I said, how the hell can you to give you an MBE? you know, Danny, and no teeth in. Come on home after the game, son, I'll show you. You know?
Well, obviously, you know, I didn't know that much about it when I came here, you know, the Celtic and Rangers Catholic Protestant thing, you know, but to be honest, today, you know, I don't think it's a problem no more. I mean, you know, if Celtic were to sign a Catholic, so what? Yeah.
Yes, when I arrived at Celtic Park, the first thing I did was have a long chat with Kenny Dalglish. I did, I really did. And he had a lot of interesting theories to tell me and how the game should be played. But, you know, unfortunately, I don't play golf.
Jock Stein used to have a theory that the Old Firm game was an outlet valve for the religious hatred in the west of Scotland, that if it wasn't for the Old Firm matches, Glasgow would become another Belfast. But the question is, why have religious bigotry at all? Why bother calling people orange scum or Fenian scum? Do we really need it?
The truth is that players have to take more responsibility for their actions. On-field madness triggers lunacy among the bigots. My belief is that every player who performs in an Old Firm game should be forced to attend a Glasgow hospital in the early hours after the fixture and watch doctors and nurses work round the clock to clean up the mess, which is a direct result of the players' failure to act in a civilised manner. Still, no matter how bad things might be, we have made progress in the last 20 years.
Big Jock was, you know, you'd come in and he'd have the tape going, you know, and you're
That'll be Scottish country dance music.
Yeah, the Scottish country dancing music, and he'd walk by you, give you a wee dig in the ribs and say, sing! You know, you're like, right, gaffer, okay, start singing away, and it's all good fun. That was his way just of trying to G you up for the game. I'd rather just sit in a wee corner and in the toilet.
I'll always be with it as the Old Firm game. You want it to be really exciting and really tense, but you want all that rivalry, the bitterness taken away from it. You'll never get rid of the rivalry, but the bitterness has got to go out it. At the end of the day, it's a game of football. It's the biggest game of football. At the end of the day, it's a game of football.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing about supporting your own team, but it's the hatred of the other team that for me is the problem.
I try to tell my family that you support your club and forget the other club. I mean, if Rangers are winning, good luck to them. As long as we're winning, you try to forget about the other side, I think.
Here's Leonard, almost for the gift. There's a goal by Leonard. John McDonald, Redford going. Here's McDonald.
There's not a country in the world which I visited which doesn't know about Rangers and Celtic, but it is, of course, essentially a Glasgow thing. And this city's centre Barber has got it absolutely spot on when they claim. On the bench for Rangers, Christensen, Tugai, Johnson, Hughes and Carson. And of course the referee here at Celtic Park is Mr Hugh Dallas.
Who faces quite a tough 90 minutes. We'll perhaps talk about that. Let's talk about the teams first of all. From the Celtic point of view, Mick, I guess those are the changes that would have been expected for Martin O'Neill.
I don't think it matters for Martin just now what changes he makes, the way things are going. It's difficult when things are going badly against you and you keep having to, you know, you try and readjust your side. But I think when things are going well, players move out. I know they've got suspensions, players come in, and it doesn't really matter. I think for Rangers, that's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Has continuity been the real key for Martin O'Neill then?
Well, last season when they were struggling and they finished, what was it, 21 points behind, I think you'd find that there was people not coming off the bench, there was people not training, there's all sorts of problems. This year, people are busting their gut to play in that team, and I look at one who stands out for me, is Bobby Petter, who I was told he couldn't walk down the street in Glasgow because of some of his performances, and he's played well this year. I mean, they're all busting their gut to play, they're 9 points clear. Confidence is such that I think he could put anybody into that side and they would perform at the minute.
Graham, if the Celtic team was predictable, there's perhaps one or two surprises there in the Rangers lineup. It's an attacking lineup he's gone for.
Well, he has to, doesn't he? I mean, he's got to win today. Coming here and getting a draw is not a good result for them. They have to try and win today. By all accounts, they played second fiddle to Celtic for large parts of the game on Wednesday night. I think it was obvious he would make changes, and he's made positive changes. He's going to try and win the game.
Neil McCann has shown in Old Firm games previously that he can be the key. We're assuming he's going to be wide there and hoping to cause problems.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they set the stall out. I mean, McCann's got pace and will cause problems if he's given room to operate. It'll be very interesting. Mick and I were talking. You know, do both of them go three at the back, or does Celtic chase it? I mean, Celtic don't need to chase it. They can just see, they can sit there and say, well, OK, let's see what Rangers are going to do today, and then adjust accordingly. But it's a game that Rangers have to step out and chase today.
And that being the case, Kenny Miller and Toriandre Flo have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, I assume.
Well, Well, not just them. You know, if you're chasing the game, it's not just about your strikers chasing it. You've got to chase it, but at the same time be tight at the back and try to be organised at the back and not chase it willy-nilly where you're going to leave yourself open. Difficult game for Rangers today.
They have to do something different. As Graham says, they have to be the team that have to try and change it to win it. There's no point coming here looking for a draw or anything. They have to be the positive team. And I think, as Graham rightly said, Celtic, they can sit there and see how things go. And if they get a draw, Celtic,
confidence plays such a big part in football. You know, right? We're speaking about, you know, if you lose at an Old Firm game, the embarrassment. And it is embarrassment. It's the criticism you receive. That's the situation Rangers find themselves in. Celtic's part, they're sitting 9-point lead. All the confidence in the world, playing at home in an Old Firm game that they know if they don't lose, they've got a great chance of winning the championship.
Let's hear what Martin O'Neill had to say. Chick spoke to him a few moments ago. The Celtic boss admitted it wasn't too much of a problem picking his lineup.
The team basically picks itself today. We have a couple of suspensions. That's our problem, of course. And really, that's about it. We're almost down to the bare bones ourselves.
So what will the Celtic team be?
Douglas comes back into goal again, having been cup-tied on Wednesday. And you've got Malby, Vega, Boyd. Agat, who also was cup-tied, comes into the side. 3 midfield players are Lambert, Thompson and Lennon. Petta starts the game as well too, and Larson and Sutton.
It's incredible the way that Agat in particular has come into the team. That's such a good job for you.
I think he's been fantastic this season, without a doubt. Better than anyone could have ever have expected. And he's taken to that position there. He works so hard. He's fantastically quick, and I couldn't have asked for any more from him. He's really been fantastic.
In any sense, will there be a carry-on of any vendettas or anything from Wednesday night?
Well, certainly not on our side. I know that for a fact. We're going here to try and play some disciplined football. It is important for us to keep discipline. No vendettas on our side whatsoever.
Thanks, Martin. All the best.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Rangers wouldn't do any interviews today, but Dick Advocaat did speak to the media on Friday when he wouldn't hear any talk of it being a title decider.
No, first we have to play, and then we can. Then after the game, I will tell you how I feel and how I think about it. But there is no reason to talk about now, because if we beat them, there's only 6 months. So everything is still open, and I still think we are still capable with the squad. We have to do something there, and the players believe that as well.
Well, it is just about time for the talking to stop, and let's just get final thoughts from Graham and Mick. Graham, do you think that Rangers can come here into the Lions' Den, if you like, and upset it?
Most certainly. You know, in an Old Firm game, anything can happen. Rangers didn't play well the other night, lost the game. They'll be angry with themselves. They have to come here and be very positive. But yes, they can win. But you'd have to say Celtic start favourites today.
We haven't spoken about Henrik Larsson. We'll perhaps get the chance to do so later, Mick. His exploits this season have been incredible, haven't they?
Not only this season, I think his exploits this season, because he came back from a broken leg, and you wonder. And when he came back, I sat in the studio watching him against Bordeaux, and people said he wasn't the same. He's back, and maybe even better. I think he's a fantastic player. He's always important, and even more so today in this game. You know, sometimes there are lots of chances in these games. Other times there may be only 1 or 2. And with a player like Henrik Larsson, when they do come along, he can finish them.
And what's your gut feeling for today?
Very much like Graham, that Celtic start the favourites, no question. I think they should go out and win the confidence that they've got, the team they can pick. But I've never seen two Rangers or Celtic Rangers games the same yet. And I would err on the side of caution that they don't go chasing the game too quickly and they get caught on the break.
OK, there'll be more from Graham and Mick at half-time. It's time now, though, for the whole match live. The whole nation has been waiting to see up in the commentary gantry Willie Miller and Rob McLean.
Thanks, Richard. Will this be the day that Rangers' title challenge is effectively ended by their oldest rivals? Celtic go into this famous fixture 9 points ahead. And when you think that 9 points is all they've spilled in the Scottish Premier League season so far, stretching back 25 games, the facts and the figures tend to be on Celtic's side as well. More than 8 hours Celtic without conceding a goal. The last time they conceded an SPL goal was an own goal by Tom Boyd. That was 2 months ago. And these Rangers supporters will be mulling over in their heads too the thoughts that Celtic 11 months unbeaten at home in domestic football. 3 changes in the Celtic side from the team which beat Rangers on Wednesday. First choice goalkeeper Rob Douglas is back, and the white men return as well. Didier Agat and Bobby Petta out. Jonathan Gould injured, Jackie McNamara and suspended Stilian Petrov. And despite the fact there was an appearance from Belgian defender Jos Valharen in training yesterday, there was never any prospect that Valharen would feature in this match. Lennon and Lambert, key players in the engine room of midfield, ball winners and ball keepers, and Larsson and Sutton with 51 goals between them this season. We'll have a look at the Rangers side shortly as the teams line up in the tunnel. And Hugh Dallas, I think he will return for the match, but he's disappeared for the moment. Hugh Dallas will take charge of his 10th Old Firm fixture. So if you're looking for a strong referee and an experienced referee, then he is the man. And despite stories to the contrary, he has refereed an Old Firm match at Celtic Park since that infamous day 2 seasons ago when he was struck on the head by a coin. Those ugly scenes live long in the memory, but Hugh Dallas did referee a match between these two here on Boxing Day in '99 as well. So he has been back since that day. Outside, the Rangers supporters full of anticipation and full of hope that their side can rise to what this afternoon is the ultimate challenge for them. Barry Ferguson and Tom Boyd leading the sides out. Barry Ferguson with mixed memories of the Old Firm match this season. He scored, of course, in the 5-1 match at Ibrox back in November, but he was sent off when these sides met, and Celtic won 6-2 back in August. A superb atmosphere inside Celtic Park for a match which always matters so much. We've seen the Celtic side. Let's have a look at the Rangers team. 2 changes from the CIS side that started in midweek. Claudio Reyna suspended. Tugai is on the bench. In come Fernando Rickson and Kenny Miller, and there's a show of confidence from Dick Advocaat in 20-year-old Robert Malcolm. He will feature again, the 20-year-old at the back alongside Scott Wilson, with Bert Konteman very much the key figure in that back 3. Dick Advocaat unpredictable. This is our shot at how Rangers are going to line up, but Dick Advocaat has certainly surprised us before, and it would be no great shock if he did so again. It's a huge afternoon for the Rangers manager, and his hands have been tied to a huge extent, of course, with only 13 senior players fit. Hugh Dallas prepares to get the action underway, and when you look through the players Rangers don't have available to them, like Amoruso and Moore and Vidmar and Bronkhorst, De Boer and Knowles, and they're facing up, of course, to Henrik Larsson. 5 goals already against Rangers this season, 14 in Celtic's last 7 games, 37 for the season, and 106 in 141 Celtic appearances. Fernando Rickson was taken off after only 23 minutes of the 6-2 defeat earlier in the season. He has something to prove. Barry Ferguson, I spoke of already, leading the Rangers side into this match of huge significance. Title winners for the last 2 seasons. Can they claw their way back into this championship race? Celtic get the match started. The final Old Firm meeting before the SPL split. And Willie Miller alongside me already drinking in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it is quite a superb atmosphere out here. Fans are really looking forward to this one. I'm sure it's going to be a cracker.
Neil Lennon on the ball early on, key man for Celtic. And since signing from Leicester, he's slotted into the Celtic side as if he's been there for years. Early jostling between Lambert and Albert's. Rangers free kick and taken quickly up to Miller. Toriandre Flo shut down quickly by Boyd. Ericsson. George Alberts lining up the drive and sliced well wide of target. He scored 7 Old Firm goals in his time, but he didn't look likely there to add to the tally.
No, but I think it's always worth testing the goalkeeper this early in the game. Robert Douglas just back, of course, and Alberts with that phenomenal left foot of his. It didn't quite happen for him on that occasion, but I think it's well worth the effort.
Short of match practice was Alberts when he came back into the Rangers side in midweek. Rangers will hope to get a little bit more out of him, although he did score the penalty, Rangers' only goal in that game. Johan Mjällby launched upfield towards his Swedish international colleague Henrik Larsson. That's Konterman's header. McCann's challenge on Lennon, and Neil McCann involved again. Robert Malcolm. Faulted, of course, for Henrik Larsson's opening goal in the midweek match. £6 million worth of Neil Lennon. And the Celtic supporters reckon he's been worth every penny. Huge responsibility on the shoulders of Bert Konterman this afternoon in the absence of the likes of Moore and Amoruso, very much a senior partner at the back. And he has to take charge.
Yeah, I think it is a key role for Konterman, there's no doubts about that. Young players round about him, he's playing right in the heart of that back three, and he's got to take the responsibility. He's got to talk and organise and calm the youngsters down round about when they have to be calmed down, and lift them when they need lifted as well. So, you know, a huge role there for Konterman.
The long ball there, too long for Toriandre Flo, and safely in the hands of Robert Douglas. In Martin O'Neill's eyes, clearly the undisputed #1 for Celtic. Jonathan Gill back in goal in midweek, but he was ineligible, of course, Robert Douglas, and immediately restored to the goalkeeper's jersey here. Malcolm for Flo, it runs through for Kenny Miller.
So far pretty typical of a game that's so important for both teams. Hasn't really settled down, you know, players not taking any chances, just keeping it nice and simple, making sure that there's no errors made early in the game, just testing each other out. We've still got to see a pattern to this game.
Ramon Vega's free kick, well judged by Wilson, but didn't get much of a clearance. And now Didier Agat, first threat from him. In behind Wilson. Agat's cutback takes a deflection on its way through and hammered away by Rickson. On the end of it, Neil McCann. Flo loses out to Vega. Barney Ferguson's pass intended for Fernando Rickson, but doing good work down the left-hand side for Celtic, Bobby Petta. That's a mistake by Boyd, and Robert Douglas gets there before Kenny Miller.
The first opportunity I felt going to Celtic there with Agat getting to the byline, showing great pace to hit the byline. Good cross into the box. He'd be disappointed that there wasn't a Celtic player making a run towards the near post. Klaus, I thought, made a bit of a meal of that. A little nervy start for him.
Konterman from Miller. Tom Boyd's header. Barry Ferguson stretching out. Thompson. Ferguson just getting himself back to his feet. Looks to have taken a knock in the face. Henrik Larsson. Played first time by Petta too quickly. But the free kick is given for the challenge of Konterman on the Sutton. Set piece opportunity for Celtic. Lennon and Thompson there. Vega making his presence felt in the box. Pressing Konterman. It's Sutton. Can't get the ball down for a shot at goal. Optimistic noises from the home supporters. Never a chance of a penalty being given there. Kenny Miller has overrun it.
Again, just going back to the free kick taken into the box here. Konterman v Vega. I thought Konterman you know, just held out of that one too much. Didn't think that was a penalty. First of all, I don't think in this sort of a occasion that you can expect a decision to be given for that one. But that all came from, I thought, a rather weak challenge from Konteman and Vega. He's got to be much stronger in the box.
Roman Vega, of course, who arrived with a bang at Celtic, 2 goals in his debut. Much maligned by the Tottenham fans. They were happy to see the back of him, but he hasn't put much of a foot wrong for Celtic so far. Lennon's touch for Thompson. Away from Malcolm, stopped by Konteman. That's a well-timed challenge. Lennon's pass to Mjällby. Mjällby couldn't get into Mark O'Neill's side initially, and now he's a first pick. Chris Sutton scored twice in his first taste of the Old Firm fixture. His header. Larson after it, Konteman's clearance. McCann with Mjällby right at his back. Long-angled ball from Konteman. It was a tough one to get on the end of Victoria Andre Flo. Agat sets up Larson. Scott Wilson still can't get hold of it. Larson's layoff out wide with Peta. Peta takes on Rickson. Cleared by Konteman, but straight at Lennon. Celtic with the chance to keep the pressure on. Peta did so much of the damage, of course, which led to Rickson's early substitution in the 6-2 match. In from Sutton, just too high for Henrik Larsson. But it's a corner kick.
Henrik Larsson always a danger at the back post, of course. Excellent on the ground, but not too bad in the air as well.
Johan Mjällby trying to find some room. In from Thompson, and it won't count. Ramon Vega headed the ball into the back of the net, but the whistle had already gone for an infringement.
And the referee making an instant decision there, very close, making no attempt to go for that ball. Don't think there was any doubt that there was a little bit of pushing in the box here.
Hugh Dallas was certainly close enough to decide he was right in the heart of the 6-yard box. And the cheers were muted. Arthur Newman for Neil McCann. Fouled by Lambert.
Yeah, I think Paul Lambert goes in a little bit late here. Fortunately, I don't think he does too much damage to Neil McCann there. McCann up very quickly indeed, so he doesn't look hurt.
Long ball from Wilson. Mjällby and Vega both went for it for Celtic. And it's for the Swiss defender who comes away with the ball, and Tom Boyd's clearance. Straight to Konteman. Over elaborate Konteman, and Rangers now in trouble. Bobby Peta with a chance to create. Konteman makes up for his error. And that's a wild one from Fernando Rickson. Barry Ferguson protesting immediately to Hugh Dallas because he knows what's about to happen. It's the first yellow card of the match. And it's Rickson. Which immediately, Willie, puts him on a tightrope.
It does. I thought it was a rather impetuous tackle. I didn't think there was any need for it at all. It always looked as though Larsson was getting to the ball first. He goes down rather heavily. Wrexham coming in late. I don't think he can have any complaints. He's not happy with the situation there, but referee Dallas, in my opinion, making the absolutely correct decision and clamping down on that challenge. Don't think there was any doubt that it deserved a yellow card.
Yeah, the foul was on Alan Thompson, but not much doubt about it, as Willie said. And Thompson with the free kick. It's a good delivery. Flicked away at the far post by Arthur Newman. Rangers will feel it's so important. They have to get their marking right at the set pieces. And they have to be so physically strong to stand up to what Celtic have to throw at them. And Rangers will now have to withstand another corner kick. Last touch off Arthur Newman. So Mjalby at the near post. Henrik Larsson almost on the goal line. Kenny Miller's header. Flicks it away from the danger area, but it's not out. And Petta's cross deflected off Rickson. And another corner kick. The pressure is mounting. There's a wider view of the penalty box. It's man for man. Thompson's corner kick. Sutton got the header. And again, there's Mjalby. Henrik Larsson! Spectacular effort. And with Larsson, you're almost expecting him to score.
You do. I mean, that is a very difficult opportunity for Henrik Larsson, but he is such a class player that you wouldn't have been surprised if that had ended up in the box. But once again, I feel Rangers not defending the cross particularly well. They look a little bit nervous at the heart of that defence, allowing Celtic to have that opportunity, albeit only a half chance.
Since he's been at Celtic, Henrik Larsson has been ripping up the record books, and another one which is under threat is Brian McClear's 15-year-old record for league goals. He scored 35, and Larsson is already on 31. As the free kick is given for Ferguson's nudge on Sutton. He survived worse than that, I think. Chris Sutton so keen to be part of this battle. Vega with the free kick. Scott Wilson got his head to it. Alberts. Sutton works it on to Petta. Flicked away by Newman. Rangers have to organise. A Gats cross. Away by Conterman. Neil Lennon. Well wide. But some shaky signs in the Rangers' defence, will it?
Yeah, they look very nervous. Big advocate there, very pensive indeed. He knows that his back three so far have looked a little bit shaky. Cross balls coming into the box. The headers have been poor. They've not been clearing the ball at all. It's coming off the side of their head. They just look nervous. They're not positive in going and winning that ball. And I'm sure Big Advocate at this moment in time will be concerned about the way his team's playing.
Barry Ferguson's challenge on Alan Thompson. No free kick. Thompson felt it. And Ferguson was quick to react to the response from the crowd, because they didn't fancy the challenge. But Udall is happy to let it go. Ferguson and Thompson, of course, both been sent off this season in the Old Firm match. Thompson's header. And again. Early ball from Petta to Chris Sutton. Rickson had to play it. And the Celtic supporters, letting Fernando Rickson know what they think of him. I don't think it's too complimentary.
No, I don't think so, but interesting to see Hugh Dallas just having a little word there, a little quiet word. Barry Ferguson just getting a little quiet word there from Hugh Dallas. He's had a couple of challenges there, just a little bit late, obviously trying to stamp his mark on the game, but I think referee Dallas just a little bit concerned.
"16 minutes gone, still no goals." Larsson's flick to Sutton. Henrik Larsson again, here's a chance, and Celtic will open the scoring, and it's Alan Thompson. Celtic picked a hole in the centre of the Rangers' defence, and it's Thompson who makes it 1-0.
Well, we've spoken about it. They look very nervous at the heart of that defence again. Getting dragged all over the place, huge gap. Larsson laying the ball in for Thompson. Good support from Thompson. Easy opportunity at the end of the day, but very concerning from a Rangers point of view. The amount of space that Celtic found through the heart of that defence. But Henrik Larsson going for a little touch in from Sutton. Lovely little roll pass to him, and super support from Thompson from midfield, and that was a reasonably easy opportunity for a man of his calibre.
Rangers in defensive disarray, and Alan Thompson's 4th goal of the season has Celtic in the driving seat. Just the start these Celtic supporters were looking for.
Yeah, the team's done well, I feel. I think in the first 15 minutes or so of this game, they've totally dominated the proceedings. Rangers looking very nervous, haven't really mounted any sort of a good play forward, looked very nervous at the back, and you're just feeling before that goal came that it was only a matter of time.
Tony Andre Flo's header. Kenny Miller trying to get on the end of it, jousting with Tom Boyd, and Fernando Rickson's shot off Neil Lennon. And Rangers have a corner kick, their first of the match. It flicked off the leg of former Leicester midfielder Lennon. Rangers would love to make something of this. They've had little attacking play so far. Neil McCann's delivery. Speared in at that near post, and Chris Sutton taking the responsibility and knocking the ball behind for take 2. Wilson and Conterman and Malcolm all up, alongside Miller and Rickson and Flo and Alberts. And again, it's that man Sutton. It was a repeat from Neil McCann. He really does whip them in at that near post, and if a Rangers head gets a touch to it, they could be back on terms. McCann tries again. It's Alberts. He couldn't keep it down, though. That was exactly what McCann was looking for, but a slighter touch, and that might have been in.
Yeah, I wanted the third attempt, but I felt that George Alberts was looking to try to get that one in target, when really, if you're whipping them into the near post like that, all you're really wanting them to do is get a little touch on it, just to deflect it past the Celtic defenders that are in there and looking for support at the back post. So perhaps Alberts on that occasion taking the wrong option.
Larsson and Sutton combine, as they've done so well in their time together this season. What a moment that was for Alan Thompson, blasting the ball past Stefan Klos, and a chance that he really couldn't miss from that sort of range. 6 yards out. A chance to put Celtic in front. Scott Wilson with his work cut out for him this afternoon. It's a big day for Wilson and Malcolm and Conterman too. They always knew it was going to be, to try to cope with Larsson and Sutton, and it's those two again threatening. Conterman back to Klos. Stefan Klos has pulled off some brilliant saves in his time against Celtic, but he had little chance in stopping Thompson from point-blank range. And Peta turning on the style. Alan Thompson was looking for a free kick. He reckoned there was a late challenge there. Hugh Dallas indicating he should get back to his feet. Petr gets the better of Rickson. Lambert driving into a hole. Laid off by Sutton. But Bobby Petr wouldn't get there in time. He started the match well as Petr, and he is a real threat. And again, Fernando Rickson in this fixture is under real pressure.
He certainly is, and the fact that he's got the yellow card, of course, he's really going to have to watch what he does in terms of challenges. But Petr has been excellent in this first 20 minutes or so, looking to get forward at every occasion, and also working very hard off the ball. He's putting Rickson under pressure, or any defender that comes out there under severe pressure, and winning the ball back early for Celtic.
Petr switching it from left to right with that crossfield pass to Didier Agat. Those two made a fatal contribution this season in terms of Celtic's success. With Agat down one side, Petr down the other, Larsson and Sutton through the middle. The opposition team is never quite sure where the greatest threat is coming from. Dutch international Conterman, less than convincing in his early times at Ibrox. He's looked a bit more like his old self recently. That's a foul by Boyd on Miller. Tom Boyd filling in for Jos Valhaden, who's injured, but not as badly injured as first feared. Barry Ferguson's free kick, aimed at Torrey Andre Flo, runs through for Neil McCann. Surrounded by hoop shirts, one of them Didier Agat. McCann does well to hold possession, but that's a loose pass infield. Agat's pace got him to the ball before Arthur Newman. And a free kick is given. He was caught late.
Yeah, Arthur Newman coming in there a little bit late. A couple of late challenges there. Barry Ferguson, he's going to have to watch what he's doing again, in with a late challenge. Fortunately, I thought both challenges were late, but didn't take too much contact on the opponents. Referee Dallas right on the spot as well, I think, to assess the situation and just let it go without taking any action.
Ramon Vega's free kick headed away by Scott Wilson. Thompson for Petr. Rickson won it. Barry Ferguson took far too long, although his complaint might be that nobody of his teammates was telling him that he was about to be robbed of possession. Thompson to Lennon. Celtic running the show. And that's a foul by Wilson on Larsson. And he'd better calm himself down or he'll be joining Fernando Rickson in the book. A tackle from the back on Larsson. That means a free kick, and that is calmly being explained to him now by Hugh Dallas.
Yeah, and I think rightly so. Wilson showing a bit of petulance there after he put the tackle in. I don't think there was any doubt that it was a challenge from behind, and an illegal challenge. Referee Dallas deciding that it was a free kick, and I think it was right.
Set-piece chance for Celtic, in from Lennon, and Ramon Vega almost there. And great credit to Bert Conterman, he did exactly what he has to do, and that was get there first.
That's right, that's more like it. You know, if you've got a central defender in there, that's a difficult one to defend. Vega breathing down his neck, had to be quick, Conterman.
Lennon's cross again, and the header from Chris Sutton needed a touch. Ramon Vega was close to applying that touch, but he couldn't quite get there before it was grabbed by Stefan Klos. We've seen very little of Rangers as a creative force so far. They really are on the back foot. Celtic working hard at minimising their opportunities on the ball. And Rangers forced all the way back to their goalkeeper. Our next live match features Celtic again. That's at East End Park in less than a month's time. Dunfermline against Celtic. But for now, it's BBC Live at the Old Firm match. Celtic a goal up and almost 26 minutes gone. Rangers have a free kick. And they'll want to involve Robert Douglas in the action before too much longer. Sorry, Andrew Flo positioning himself just inside the box. Conterman and Malcolm are forward. Alberts trying a shot at goal, and it cannons back off the wall. Has it back now from Ritson. Chested down by Flo, tried to nod it back to Conterman. Lennon was there. Put forward by Thompson, ahead of Larsson. Vega against Flo, won it well. Agat trying to hold off Neil McCann. His pace and his power, Didier Agat, and that's a hefty combination. Larsson playing an unplanned 1-2 off Fernando Ritson, and Ritson using his elbow there, and he could be in real trouble. Already booked, and Hugh Dallas over to keep a close eye as that little tussle progresses. Poor one from Newman. But at the second attempt, played it off Agat, his throw. Conterman. Melby always likely to win an aerial tussle with Neil McCann. Willie, Fernando Ritson obviously walking a dangerous line now.
Yeah, he is. Dallas, referee Dallas was right on the spot there. He gave him an evil stare, obviously indicating to Ritson that you know, if there was any intent there against an opponent, that Dallas won't to put up with anything like that in the future. I think he is walking a very, very tight line.
Arthur Newman takes the ball away from Chris Sutton. Melby. Lennon, back to Douglas. Celtic with almost total control.
Yeah, total control. I think Rangers struggling badly, particularly in midfield. They've only got 2 players in midfield against Rangers, 3 of course.
Superb pass from Thompson. It's Peta. And the cross between Larsson and Sutton. That looked like a real opportunity to carve out a second goal. Celtic back in possession again. Larsson to Agat. Over Ritson's head to Peta. Bobby Peta's cross, missed by Malcolm and Wilson. Cleared by Newman. A lot of indecision in the way Rangers are defending here. And playing against Larsson and Sutton, you're always likely to get punished. Here comes Henrik Larsson. Chris Sutton, shot blocked by Malcolm, corner kick.
Just a number of players in the Rangers back 5 really have to do some more. Henrik Larsson, of course, always a threat, and Sutton's strength too, but Ritson not handling Peta well at all. I think Peta has by far get the better of him. Ritson looking very nervous indeed, and Peta looking to get to the byline at every opportunity, and Rangers really have got to defend better.
Thompson's corner kick. Stefan Klos Didn't get both hands to it, but whistle had gone for an infringement.
A little bit fortunate, I thought, Klaus coming out for this one. Didn't seem to be too much contact there, perhaps a little arm up there from Vega onto the back of Klaus, but I felt as though Klaus wasn't really going to get much on that ball anyway.
You've got the benefit of the doubt there, I think, Stefan Klaus. The way things are going, you would reckon it's only a matter of time before Celtic make it 2. Long ball from Vega. Sutton hot in pursuit, and Klaus outside his area to clear. Lambert to Petta, and Paul Lambert immediately hearing away for the return. Dixon's challenge. Still Alan Thompson's goal, separating these two sides in terms of the scoreline, but there's so much between them in terms of overall play. Petta's cross. Scott Wilson's header. Onto it, Neil Lennon. Alan Thompson into the feet of Henrik Larsson. Slipped as he tried to work that one back towards Thompson. Flo beaten by Mjalby. We've seen very little of the £12 million striker so far. Mjalby playing the ball to where he thought Didier Agat should be. Sadly, he was standing alongside him at the time.
Yeah, just a little bit of misunderstanding, but from a Rangers point of view, I think they've got to ask more of Flo up front. I think Dick Advocaat will be trying to get that message on. I don't feel that they've got much option other than going the route one, going from back to front, trying to hit Flo and getting a little bit of support. They're really having no joy at all through that midfield. Celtic totally dominating in there.
And there is another long ball from Conterman to Flo. Nodded down, but nodded down for Lambert. Plays a 1-2 off Sutton. Larsson against Wilson. Wilson wins. Albert's holding off the challenge of Chris Sutton. Conterman from McCann. Don't think that's really the ball that Neil McCann is wanting.
No, it's not. I'm sure he's wanting it to his feet, but he did exceptionally well there and winning the little flick on. But you know, even with Rangers playing 3 up front, they seem very detached. They're not working as a unit. McCann wins that ball, but he's got no support at all from the other two. But I would suggest if they're going to go route one and play it in there, then it really is Flo that they've got to try and hit, and then get a reaction from the 2 frontmen, a little bit of support from midfield.
Larsson's flick, in goes Petta. Punched away by Stefan Klaus, and grounded inside the penalty box is Petta. Looked as if Klaus punched the ball and then the player.
Yeah, I don't think there was any malice here. It was a ball that Klaus really had to go for. Petta just getting in there slightly before him, but I'm sure it came off of Klaus' fist, and it was a fist that followed through and caught Petta. I really think that was an accidental clash.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious about that at all from Stefan Klaus, but I don't think that makes Bobby Petta feel any better at the moment.
No, I'm sure he's got a little bit of a headache down there just now. Took that one in the side of the face. He's up on his feet. He seems to be okay. Of course, he'll have to go to the side of the pitch, but really it doesn't look as though that's going to be too necessary, and he should be able to resume pretty quickly.
This was certainly decisive goalkeeping, and it had to be from Klaus. There was a real danger if Petta had got a little flick, but that was 2.
But again, it comes from, I think, uncertain defending. You know, balls played in there, Rangers defenders should be going and winning them. Should be an easy part of the game. They seem a little bit apprehensive. They're not winning the headers. Celtic are getting little flick-ons, and then Rangers defence not reacting quick enough.
Sutton. Larsson's there. Corner kick. Didier Agat was enough of a threat to Arthur Newman. Forced the Rangers defender to knock the ball behind. And set pieces like this are always a threat to Rangers. When you see the likes of Vega and Mjalby joining Sutton and Larsson in the area. In from Thompson. That was Malcolm and Newman both went for it. That looked like a push on Barry Ferguson. Free kick given against Bobby Pettit.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there. Little push in the back there. Barry Ferguson, Pettit giving him a push and causing the foul. Really a little bit unfortunate from a Celtic point of view, because Rangers under a lot of pressure, still not dealing with the cross ball particularly well, and that has always given Celtic the opportunity to keep the screw turned and keep the pressure on them.
There's a neat touch from Pettit. And again tangling with Rickson. It's an intriguing tussle between these two. Less than 8 minutes of the first half remaining. That's good covering from Rickson after Malcolm was beaten. A towering header from Vega. Larsson coming back from an offside position. If Celtic are to win here today, they will stretch their lead over Rangers to 12 points. With 12 games left. It's no title decider this, but it could have a huge bearing on where the championship ends up. Thompson's pass. Countryman, short with the pass for Kloss. And good thinking from Paul Lambert. Needed to lift it a little bit higher, and if he'd done so, it could have been 2-0.
Yeah, it could have been a lovely through ball from Thompson. Countryman just a little bit short with the back pass, and Lambert smartly onto it. Just needed a little bit more air in that chip. He saw the opportunity, he saw Kloss off his goal. He was going for goal, and he just didn't get enough elevation in it.
Good play from Rickson. Countryman having a look at what's on. Strong defending from Mjalby. And there's Celtic on the move again with Lambert. Slowing the game down, Lambert. With Lennon and Lambert in his side, you're unlikely to give the ball away too much. Well, there looked to be a lot more man about the challenge than ball there for Bert Countryman. Free kick given.
I mean, that shouldn't be allowed in a football part, to be perfectly honest with you. Different shape of ball you want to be playing with if you're going to put in a challenge like that. I think Countryman getting a little bit frustrated there. Absolutely no need to put in the tackle. Only 10 yards inside his own half. He should have been sitting off of Larsson. He knows Larsson's got good pace. And for Countryman, you're looking for experience. Didn't show his experience there.
You're not a poacher turned gamekeeper by any chance, are you?
Don't think I put too many challenges in like that. So I like to think I timed them a little bit better and perhaps used my intelligence more.
Malcolm, back to Kloss. Again, it's jittery defending from Rangers. Nothing much convincing about it. Alberts to Flo. Flo is something Rangers have had little of in this first match. In this first half, I should say. There's little fluency about their performance. Constantly on the back foot. And creaking under pressure. Hopefully somebody's going to be checking through the videotapes to see if Willie Miller's claims are based on fact at all. Ferguson to Rickson. Just over 4 minutes left in a Celtic-dominated first half. You'd be hard-pushed to say Celtic aren't on their way to the title when you view their superiority here. That's a foul on Rickson by Peta. You get the feeling there's a strong element of tit for tat in what's going on here.
I think there's a little bit of animosity over on that far side, isn't there? Peta this time putting the late challenge in, and Rickson, I don't think there's any doubt that he left his boot in a little bit there. You know, Rickson going down, perhaps making the most of it, but the way these two players have been going at each other this afternoon and in previous games, I think Rickson's got every right to make the most of it.
Wilson's free kick, finding the head of Torre Flo. But yet again, for Rangers, the knockdown leads to nothing. And it's comfortable defending for Celtic. Hesitation from Henrik Larsson. And another infringement by Bert Konteman. And this time action will be taken. He allowed Larsson to get on the wrong side here, will he?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's booked, I don't think he can have any complaints at all. It's a combination of the previous challenge in Larsson and this one. It was all down to his own making, really, allowing that ball to go past him, slipping a little bit and then getting tangled up with Larsson. Again, referee Dallas absolutely correct.
Thompson's free kick. Free kick is given to Rangers for the challenge from Scott Wilson. Not a decision which goes down too well with the home support.
Well, again, a correct one. Looked as though that there was quite a lot of body contact there in the box, and I think in these occasions the referee is liable to go with the defender.
A minute to be added, so 3 in all left in the first half. Vega struck in the face by the arm of Flo. I'm not too sure how much that was malicious. Torre Flo, not renowned as a dirty player.
No, I thought it was accidental. I mean, you've got to use some arm movement to get a little bit of purchase when you're jumping for a ball, and I didn't think there was much in there. I don't see it too well there, but Dallas again was right in the spot. He had a word with Vega not to make too much of it, because I thought it was accidental. I didn't think it did too much damage to Vega, and the last thing you want for an innocuous challenge is this game to get out of hand.
That seems like sensible refereeing from, almost said Willie Miller there, from Hugh Dallas. Ferguson's pass finds Alberts. Beyond Flo, cleared by Vega. Chris Sutton's there first. And now a Gant. It's the furthest forward Tom Boyd's been. Playing as an auxiliary left winger at the moment, Tom Boyd. And it's a red card for Rickson. One foul too many as far as Hugh Dallas is concerned. Second yellow adds up to red. And Rickson's troubled Rangers career gets no better.
And there was always signs that it was going to flare up with Rickson. He's had so many challenges, late challenges, and he really can't complain. There is absolutely no need for him to go into that challenge out in the touchline. Tom Boyd taking it. Rickson comes in late. Referee Dallas, yellow card, and he's off.
Thompson's free kick. Vega's there, and the whistle's gone. There was pushing going on. Rangers get some respite. Not much more than 30 seconds left of this first half, which goes from bad to worse for Rangers. A crazy challenge by Fernando Rickson when you've already been yellow carded and had the finger wagged in your face for numerous other challenges as well. Dick Advocaat must be absolutely fuming with one of his signings of last summer, his fellow Dutchman Rixon, who you would have to say has let his manager down badly here, and his teammates as well. That's half-time. Rangers 1 goal down. Alan Thompson scored, and now one man down as well, with Rixon having been sent off. Celtic are running the show, dominating the proceedings, and it's difficult, Willie, to see any way back for Rangers.
Well, you'd have thought that perhaps getting in at half-time and reorganising 11 men, then they maybe had a chance in the second half. The fact that there's only 1 goal in it at half-time, but with that moment of madness from Rixon, Dick Advocaat now is going to have to reshuffle the pack with only 10 men on the park. They've been well behind when it's been an even contest. They're a man down. You cannot.
Bad defending by Rangers when the ball eventually arrives. Who was it? Was attempting a shot. It's bobbled and come square again.
Tried.
Was it Larson
tried to shoot? Yeah.
He was opening his body out to shoot. It skirmed off in the challenge, and it's fell nicely for Thompson. Celtic have bossed midfield, and if you're bossing midfield, you're going to control the game. You know, Rangers have Fergie and Albertson there against Lambert, Lennon, and
Thompson.
And they're bossing it.
Yeah.
You know, Rangers are going with 3 up front, McCann, Miller and Flo, and it's not happening for them. And it's leaving them a man short in midfield. Celtic are bossing midfield, and that for me is where he has to try and readjust. You know, when you look at Flo, people would think Flo is a target man. He's 6'4" maybe. He's not a target man, and they're trying to use him as a target man today. You know, Vega is just bossing him. You know, he's coming through him. He's too strong for him. I know that Rangers have lots of injuries, but the team they've put out today, it's just not happening for them. It's not happening for them, and he has to make changes. And the sending off. Well, you know, when you look at
it for him now,
you know, I think you mentioned before we start. You know, when things are not happening for you. You know, the goal, for argument's sake, lucky bobble, falls nicely for Thompson. The sending off. You know, things are just not happening for them. Maybe it's. Give it to him now, don't even worry about the second.
Well, the big concern for Dick Advocaat, Mick, be the fact that Rangers, certainly in terms of going forward, have offered absolutely nothing.
Well, in terms of what Graham says there about running right, I don't think they have, but I think it's been as comfortable a performance as I've seen Celtic play against Rangers for a long time. They've dominated it without running right in terms of having chances at goal, but Rangers have not offered any threat whatsoever. And the midfield is the area, and Neil Lennon for me has just bossed it completely, because he's sat in front of that 3. There's nobody there to mark him. There's nobody poking a challenge on him. If they want to come out, they can use him to switch play. He picks all the little knockdowns there, and he's just doing the job he's sat there to do. The 3 up front for Rangers have offered no threat whatsoever. I was concerned actually if McCann could get up against Mjällby there. Mjällby's never bothered. They've gone. We talked about this before, didn't we? About 3 up front. Their back 3 of Celtic. The back 3 have said, "We'll handle this. There's no problem."
But it's not working.
And Neil Lennon's a spare man there, and he just keeps getting the ball and picking it up. And the 2 up front for Celtic, they're a good partnership at the minute. And they hold it up and they allow the team to get up, and they're causing problems. Like I said, they've not had loads and loads of chances, but the players being all in Rangers' defensive half, and it's been a comfortable performance. I don't know what he's going to do now. He's got to rearrange with 10 men, and that's going to be
before the sending off.
To all the questions we've been asking during the interval. 2 guys coming on there, as you see. Let's hear from Willie Miller and Rob McLean.
Dick Advocaat will hope that his team like a challenge, because they certainly have one here. 1 goal down at half-time to Celtic. Outplayed. Celtic took charge of the midfield early on and never let go. And now comes the tactical reshuffle from Advocaat, not under the circumstances in which he would have wanted to have made it. He would have preferred to have done that with 11 on the pitch, but Tugai is on, and here's the crime count so far. 2 yellows for Rixon, meaning that he's still in the dressing room. Countryman booked as well. He has to tread a weary path. And Bobby Petta, yellow carded for Celtic. The BBC Scotland live match, Celtic against Rangers. Alan Thompson with the only goal so far. And Rangers with a mountain to climb.
Two guys, first touch. Sorry, Andre Flo. Flo again. In from Malcolm. Two guy combines with Ferguson. Rangers have to have a go, but it's not easy. 10 against 11. Neil McCann trying to find room for the cutback. Alberts connected well with the volley, but couldn't quite keep it down.
No, I couldn't, but it was a fantastic strike again, just a little bit too high with the left foot. But that just goes to show that you're never out of the game when it's 1-0. Celtic only having that one-goal advantage with someone like George Alberts about. Something special from outside the box, could get it back in level terms, even although Celtic have had the bulk of possession.
Paul Lambert won the header. Free kick for handball against Eric Quantuman and Martin O'Neill. Now less than 45 minutes away from what would be a vital 3 points if Celtic retain the control they've had so far. Lennon's free kick off Sutton. Hammered away by Scott Wilson. Possession back with Celtic. Pettit away from Malcolm. And stretching out was George Alberts. He had to get that one absolutely right. Otherwise, that was heading behind his compatriot Stefan Klos.
Yeah, he certainly did. Not an easy situation to be in to defend properly. George Alberts going back towards his own goal. Could quite easily have deflected that into the back of his own net. Just managed to get a slight touch on it, deflecting for the corner.
Alan Thompson's corner kick. Punched away by Klos. And Barry Ferguson completes the clearance. Lovely change of direction from Pettit. Gets him away from Tugai. In for Vega. And Arthur Newman mopping up at the far post. Chris Sutton was endeavouring to get on the end of Vega's flick.
Yeah, it's a lovely lateral flick there for Pettit, and a super cross into the box. Vega getting a little flick on it. Rangers defender just getting his head to it at the back post, but testing times once again so early in this second half for Rangers.
The pressure stays on. Thompson's corner kick. That's a good catch from Klos. In a busy goalmouth. Tugai, Ferguson, McCann, little burst of pace, gets him away from a gat. Torrey Andre Flo still has it. Alberts. Looking on the bright side for Rangers, that's a shot on target.
Well, it is, and it's quite amazing, isn't it, to see Rangers play like this. Great pass through, Flo showing good pace there. You know, just eventually running out of room, but managing to lay it back for Alberts to have the strike.
The searing pace again of Agat. That was just behind Larsson. And played out by Klos to Tugai. Agat starting several yards behind Newman and outpacing him. The bodies scattered all over the pitch at the moment. Ramon Vega is one of them.
I think it's just a little bit of time for calm from the referee. A couple of sharp tackles coming in there. Flo a little bit late with the challenge, but I think in this occasion it just has to be calmed down. I think Dallas is doing the right thing, not making too much of it. Maybe Raymond Vega won't agree with me there. He looks as though he's in a little bit of pain, but the last thing you want is the game to get out of hand. You want to keep as many players on the park as possible. The fans have came here to watch a game of football that is balanced, and so far actually in the second half it is unbalanced, but it's as close as we've saw to a competition because Rangers have started to play a little bit. I think with two guys coming in to the midfield, it then allows Rangers to have 3v3 in there, an area where they were totally dominated in the first half. And I think in the second half they're looking much more comfortable being able to pass the ball about and start creating something. So let's hope it continues in that vein for the sake of the game.
He's been grounded for several minutes now, Ramon Vega, but slowly getting back to his feet. And some instructions being passed on, not maybe directly to Bobby Petta, but through Bobby Petta. And Martin O'Neill will be looking at the scoreline and thinking that's a fragile advantage. So the words were for Thompson, and a nod of the head tells Martin O'Neill the message has got through. But the Celtic manager will feel he wants another goal to squeeze Rangers out of this. That's Countryman. Lennon's header. Petta was first there, but it's well won by Tugai, who's been in good form for Rangers in recent weeks. Newman to McCann. Well read by Paul Lambert, anticipating what was coming from the Newman-McCann combination. Vega's okay again. Chris Sutton won the header. And played off Larsson by Newman. A wall of sound around Celtic Park. And George Alberts kicked the ground as he played that pass, and more problems for Rangers. Alberts immediately indicated to the technical area that he's in trouble. Struck the ground as he played the pass, as he'd been carrying an ankle injury. And Rangers may have to make another change in force this time.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. George Albert's indicating right away. He just stubbed his toes. He went to play this ball. You can see it quite clearly there. Holds his knee. Looks as though it's some kind of a knee jolt injury that he's got. But right away the hand went up, indicating to the bench that he was in serious trouble. Time will tell whether the change will have to be made. But Dick Advocaat, I think, getting prepared for that change. George Albert's just off screen, looks to be in serious trouble. I don't think
no chance. I don't think
can take any further part in this game. So another huge blow for Big Advocaat. And Rangers, just when it looked as though, although George Alberts is waving to the side, we're saying that he's coming off. Difficult to. It's not really coming out too well in the translation. Rob is limping over to the side. We'll just have to wait and see if that's the last kick of the ball that Alberts will make.
It looked as if the message might be, take your time with the substitution, because I may be able to make this, and that seems to be what's happening. There is a hope that Alberts can come back into the play, and that would be a big boost for Rangers. They need some good news. And Celtic will make a change. Johan Mjalby off. And a rare sighting in the Celtic first team of the John Barnes signed Olivier Tebele.
Yeah, it's quite a strange game, this one, isn't it? Just when you think Rangers are going to be forced to make the substitute, they don't, and Celtic make the change. Tebele coming on for Mjalby. I can only assume that Mjalby had some kind of an injury problem, and Martin O'Neill making the decision that he's not going to take the chance with him for the rest of the second half.
And the word is from the technical area that it's a recurrence of Johan Mjalby's groin trouble, which has led to him being withdrawn from the action. There was some thought he might have done an operation earlier in the season to sort it. Rangers getting forward with Tugai and Ferguson. Back from Malcolm. Tugai holds off Larsson. Does well to get the pass away to Ferguson. Newman to Flo. And quickly in to block the attempted clearance from Didier Agathe. There's the heavy strapping around the left ankle of George Alberts. He wants to soldier on, still not moving too freely, but Rangers with not too many options available to them on the bench. Agathe trying to force his way forward. Celtic have a free kick given against Bert Konteman, and remember, he has a yellow card against his name. Lennon with the free kick, played into the feet of Sutton. Lambert there to get it back. Vega. Newman, Alberts. McCann. Alberts again. You wonder how long George Alberts will be able to go on, because he's not moving freely, and one wonders what sort of chances he's taking on long-term trouble if he plays with that injury.
Yeah, I think it's a huge decision for him. It looked initially, when he made the pass, he definitely stubbed his toe into the ground, looked as though perhaps he had twisted his knee. It was in fact his ankle, and he really is hobbling about out there. You know, you just wonder how long he's going to manage to play in this game, and you're right, he has taken a huge chance with his career.
But still, this match delicately poised. 1-0 the scoreline. As long as it stays that way, Rangers have a chance of salvaging something from what has seemed at times like mission impossible. Long from Vega. Covering in behind Kontraman was Wilson. Here's Alberts. A talismanic figure at times for Rangers. Such has been his success in the big matches. Here he is again. Spreads the play with a pass to Newman. Now for McCann. In behind Tebley. Too strong with the cross. Flicked back by Flo. Ferguson. Toriandri Flo again. 1 against 2. Peta and Vega both there. And a handball decision goes against the former Chelsea striker.
No, it's been a real good second half for Rangers. They've been forced into making the changes. They're down to 10 men. They've went with the back four, changed that from the 3 they had in the first half, and they've thrown an extra man into the midfield area, an area where they were completely dominated in the first half, and now they're more than holding their own. I would suggest that in the second half, in fact, that area has belonged to Rangers since Tugai has stepped in there.
There also looks to be a new spirit about Rangers. They look to have had a little bit of belief restored, and that looked to be draining away from them in the first half as Celtic dominated in the midfield area. Ferguson and Tugai have combined well. Rangers will now, though, hope to spark some threat further forward. A deafening noise at times inside Celtic Park. Tom Boyd's clearance. Alan Thompson's header. Almost an hour played of this Old Firm fixture. Bobby Peta against 20-year-old Robert Malcolm. Chris Sutton works it back to Neil Lennon. Malcolm again under pressure. That's good play. That will do him a lot of good. Stood firm, and no way past for Peta. McCann. But that's well played by Agat. He's threatening going forward, but he does a pretty solid job when he backtracks as well. Arthur Newman couldn't keep that in.
He'll be much happier, Dick Advocaat, watching his team performance in the second half, playing with an awful lot of spirit, much more confidence as well. They seem to be prepared to get the ball down and actually pass it through that midfield area, where they really have done particularly well in the second half.
Tom Boyd, there's talk of another year's contract in the pipeline for him. Chested down by Larsson for Lambert. Challenged by Wilson, but it breaks for Agat. In for Paul Lambert, here's a chance. And that's a good challenge. A crucial one as well on Lambert by Wilson, just as Lambert was pulling the trigger.
Yeah, it was a well-weighted pass into the path of Lambert. Lambert making a break from the midfield area, but Wilson saw the danger, got himself out there. Excellent reading from the young centre-back, taking the responsibility and putting in a great challenge.
The longest serving player at the Rangers, in the Rangers first team squad, Scott Wilson. Thompson's corner kick. A header on target, but not a huge problem for Stefan Klos.
A good corner in, and you know, a decent header, but not nearly enough power on it to cause Klos any sort of a heartache.
Barry Ferguson's pass probing at the Celtic defence, finding flow, but he was outnumbered as much as anything. Neil McCann supplying some width to the attack, in behind Tebele, and a corner kick is forced. The encouraging spell for Rangers continues.
It is very encouraging, Neil McCann hugging that touchline. That's forcing Celtic to put one of their three central defenders out there. Tebele it is, it's marking him.
Alberts with the corner. Robert Douglas in trouble. Headed away by Agat. And cleared this time by Tebele. A dreadful error by Robert Douglas. And he could well have been punished here.
It's now Celtic's turn to be a little bit nervous at the heart of that defence. Robert Douglas, on this occasion, making a real hash of that cross. It was not under any sort of pressure at all. It was a chance for Conterman to have the shot, and Celtic very fortunate to get away with that one.
Douglas got a touch to the shot, but it was all important. Agat on the line, who saved Rangers. That is the end now for George Alberts. He's battled through the pain barrier for the last 5 or 10 minutes. But it's time for a change, and it's Alan Johnston who comes on as the replacement. Malcolm's cross. Time for Didier Agat to get the ball under control and set off. He'll need the ball too. Thompson trying to squeeze that pass inside Malcolm for Peta. Again, the youngster did well. Johnston to McCann. Clever pass from McCann for Newman. An important header from Vega. To Guy. Didn't catch the volley. Ferguson spins round, finds some room. That's for Flo. He was onside, but it was a difficult one to get under control. But again, good vision from the Rangers midfield. Now turning some ideas into action. Two-guy did well to keep possession of the ball there as he tangled with Larsson. Flo beaten by Vega, but a free kick given against Vega.
Yeah, just a little bit of use of the hand there from Vega, but Celtic under pressure now. Rangers piling it on, some excellent work from them, particularly down the left-hand side.
Ferguson's free kick. Two-guy. And now it's Celtic's turn for some jittery defending. And Celtic, Rangers I should say, will be looking to make this pressure count. In from Neil McCann, and better handling this time from Robert Douglas. He flapped at the last cross ball, but altogether more confident there.
Yeah, I think that will help his confidence. To be fair, on Douglas, he hasn't had anything to do basically in this game. He's only been called into action a couple of times. I think taking that cross will help his confidence. But Celtic looking a little bit nervy at the back. Rangers coming more and more into this game, even though they're a man down.
It has been a remarkable transformation in the Rangers' performance in the second half. And at times you have to count the players to make sure they are actually one down. Agat against Newman. Fired in for Larsson! And that was good defending from Scott Wilson. Just the sort of position from which Larsson has scored so many times before, and I think Martin O'Neill really thought this was in.
Yeah, it looked as though it was just going to go into the near post. Great run into the near post from Larsson. Times his run so well. Agat doing magnificently well, getting to the byline. Super cross in. Rangers breathe again.
Thompson's corner kick. There's Chris Sutton. Vega went for it. And Tommy Andre Flo nodded the ball away and was then caught by the late challenge from Vega. I think it was a genuine attempt to get on the end of the ball.
Yeah, I think it's recognised by the referee that it was a genuine. You can actually see Vega there having an attempt to just check out of that challenge. He's taken a nasty one himself there. That looks a real nasty knock to the side of his face, and he has to get a little bit of treatment at the touchline.
That looks as if it'll need a couple of stitches later on in the day. Flo's header, Johnston. McCann trying to hold the ball up. Did well. Now looking for it back from Newman, but that's asking a lot. And the pass from Newman allowing Olivier Tebeli to get across and cut out the immediate danger. Ramon Vegas had the running repairs carried out, and he's back on the pitch. Tebeli. Larsson, instant control. Sutton loses out to Countryman, now Ferguson. The pass running away from Johnston. Still more than 20 minutes left. And Martin O'Neill will see what's happening in front of him as a real test of his team's character, having dominated the midfield area and run the show in the first half. 10-man Rangers now putting up stiff resistance. McCann showed too much of that to Tebeli. But he's had a good last 10-15 minutes, Neil McCann, for Rangers, doing what he does best, and a threatening figure down the left-hand side.
Yeah, I feel that's a very important area for Rangers. Neil McCann, Arthur Newman supporting him down the left-hand side. That's where they've been productive. He's a threat with his pace. He can create the crosses to put in for flow, and Rangers are looking for support from likes of Johnson getting forward from a midfield area.
That is Johnston. Back from Malcolm. All the way across for Newman. The 1-2 with McCann. Good challenge. He really is an absolute steal at £50,000 from Hibs, Agat. And he sets up Henrik Larsson. And now Thompson! A chance to seal the points for Thompson. And he will hope that he doesn't regret this moment.
That was a real opportunity, was it, Celtic? Hitting on the break, a lovely pass in from Larsson. You just feel that Thompson has got to hit the target there. He just got under it a little bit. It was a real opportunity. Look, perhaps there was a little deflection onto it there from Klaus, but an opportunity wasted.
Petter's cross, Conterman's header, flicked away by Ferguson. Onto it is Agat. Powerfully struck. Blocked away by Klaus. And an angry exchange between Newman and Klaus following this stop from the goalkeeper. Arthur Newman was shaking his fist in the direction of Stefan Klaus after he knocked that ball out. Newman obviously feeling that in palming the ball out the way, he was setting up a chance on the rebound for Celtic. Lambert's throw. Hooked away by Newman. Conditions around Celtic Park getting distinctly stormy. And this delivery from Alan Thompson is likely to be swirling all over the place. In from Thompson. Headed away by Malcolm. Back in from Lambert. It's Flo. Lambert again, good pass to Petter. Shot blocked by Conterman. Flo to Tugai. A chase from McCann. But it's skidded off the turf. And into the arms of Robert Douglas. Larsson gets turned. Foul by Scott Wilson. He knew he was beaten.
Yeah, he did. There's no doubt there that was a foul, but the conditions really are deteriorating badly.
Petter's cross. Newman thought he had it, but it drifted away from him. It really is wild out there. And the combination of Newman and Malcolm let that run. Didier Agat was in hot pursuit.
Been a good little spell for Celtic though. Rangers have dominated most of the second half, particularly in that midfield area, but going to the back four I think's helped them as well. The defenders seem much more comfortable in that formation. They're pushing it up nice and tight, and they're playing like a compact unit, but just in the last 5 minutes or so Celtic found their feet, managed to get some passes strung together even though the conditions are absolutely dreadful, and coming in more and more into the game.
Scott Wilson did well to recover there, having been nutmegged by Larsson. Pretty steep learning curve for the 20-year-old over the last 4 or 5 days, with an Old Firm Cup semi-final, followed by this vital league match between the deadly rivals. In from Thompson. Corner kick. for Celtic into the last 15 minutes. And Hugh Dallas issuing a warning. A lot going on off the ball. Thompson's delivery. Aided by the strong winds and taken away from the penalty box. Free kick given against a guts challenge on McCann. More live football to come from BBC Scotland, and it's Celtic at East End Park on the Sunday the 4th of March. So join us for that one, but don't go away, because you get the feeling there's more drama to come here. Petta to Larsson. Did well, Scott Wilson, to squeeze that down the line. Neil Lennon.
I think the players need an award for playing any sort of football in these conditions. It really has deteriorated into an awful rainstorm we've got just now. Some hail coming down as well. So full marks to these players and still managing to produce good football.
In from Thompson to Larsson. Sutton's control let him down. Conterman cleared. Bobby Petta swerving inside, then outside. Back for Lennon. Petta grounded, so Lennon chases it himself. Still Neil Lennon. And Gatt almost in at the far post. After that heroic run from Lennon. Rangers fighting to cling on to their title, which at the moment looks as if it's slipping away. Newman's cross, that was Vega. Bobby Petta off and running. Lambert to Thompson. And now Petta again. Celtic keeping the ball. Good challenge by Wilson.
Today's attendance here at Celtic Park, 59,486.
The official crowd not far short of 60,000. As usual, the Old Firm match, unmissable viewing. Only one goal so far, but it could be a hugely significant goal for Celtic. If the scoreline stays this way, there will be 12 points between Celtic and Rangers in the title race. Newman to McCann. Two-guy, Flo, and Flo was held back inside the penalty box. It seemed the ball may well have been running away from him there, but there looked to be some grappling going on in the penalty box. It'll be interesting to have another look at that.
Yeah. There certainly seemed to be some kind of a contact. Sutton on Flo. Flo looked as though the ball had broken for him kindly in front of him in the box. It looked as though Sutton had perhaps had his arms round about him. Referee Dallas wasn't too far away and decided not to give anything, but I'm with you, Rob. I would like to see that again.
We'll see that in a few seconds. The play rages on with Thompson. Let's have a look at that again. This was the moment that Torrey Andre Flo was held back in the penalty box by Sutton.
Don't think there's any doubt about that at all. It was a kind break of the ball for Flo. It turns, it falls in front of him. You can see quite clearly that Sutton had his arms round Flo, and Rangers really did have a genuine claim for a penalty on that occasion.
Neil McCann for Rangers. And I think Rangers' feeling of injustice, which wasn't really too evident at the time. There weren't huge protests about it, but I think that feeling of injustice will grow after the match when they see the pictures of a blatant tug from Sutton on Flo, the two former Chelsea strikers, and a penalty kick might well have been given, although in these sort of instances Hugh Dallas is obviously looking for support from his assistants as well.
I don't think Dallas had a particularly good view of it. Obviously Sutton is between himself and the ball, and really the challenge is coming on his blind spot, but I've no doubt that the stand-side linesman had a perfect view of that one, and that is where he should be coming into the game and aiding his referee.
So it might have been 1-1, but might-have-beens have never won anything in football, and it remains 1-0 Celtic. And it seems a long time ago that Alan Thompson blasted the ball past Stefan Klos. Larsson beaten by the combination of Tugai and Wilson. Seven and a half minutes of the regulation 90 remaining. Engrossing it's been as ever. And Tugai has been a strong contributor for Rangers in the second half. He's made a real difference, and you wonder what the outcome might have been had he started the match.
Yeah, you're quite right, Rob. I think that is a key area in any game, and certainly Rangers were not at the races in the first half. Evercamp bring on Tugai in the second half, and all of a sudden they start dominating.
Didier Agat setting off for the byline, and Arthur Newman all the way with him. That's good defending, because when it comes to sheer pace, not much doubt that Didier Agat's got it.
It is, yeah. I mean, really, you've got to use your experience. Arthur Newman is an experienced player. Agat is electric. He likes to go to the byline. 90% of the time, that's where he wants to hit. I think Newman just used his experience there, allowed the player to make the first move and anticipated it well and got there first.
Thompson's corner kick. Flo's header. Sutton underneath it. Neil McCann losing the ball in a dangerous area, and then as he tried to atone for his error, fouled Bobby Petta.
Yeah, McCann's just got to check himself there. That is a very dangerous challenge. Fortunately, he made no contact with Petta. Referee absolutely correct to have a word in his ear, and that word would be to Neil McCann just to calm things down.
Thompson's free kick failed to get beyond Barry Ferguson. Second chance for Alan Thompson, this time into the feet of Larsson, trying to spin away from Wilson. Now Petta. Out comes Klos. Looked as if he could have caught that, elected to punch. As the hail and the sleet and the snow, whatever it is, looks like a mixture of all three, pours down again. Bert Konterman's boot up, advantage being played. Larsson to Sutton, and that's another foul by Konterman. And he must be sailing dangerously close.
I don't think he can afford too many more challenges like this. Rather rash one again, particularly in these conditions. Very difficult to keep your feet, but Sutton just getting a little touch past him to the right hand side. Konterman getting in very hard. As I said, I don't think he could afford to have too many more like that if he wants to stay in the pitch.
I don't know if you call that sensible refereeing or not, but you get the feeling Bert Konterman got the benefit of the doubt there. But Celtic have a free kick, and Alan Thompson stands over it. Henrik Larsson instead, and not too far away from the target.
I think it was too far. It was a curling effort. Far enough though. Klaus really looking at that one with ease, never really causing him too much concern.
4 minutes and counting. Martin O'Neill will be having one or two nervous glances at his watch, no doubt, because 1-0, still the slender advantage for Celtic. And there is still time for Rangers to get some rewards for their second half performance. Newman to Flo. Ferguson to Tugai. Malcolm's pass is a good one for Johnston. Opportunity for Rangers here. Out comes Douglas. Spilled the ball, but no one there for Rangers. It was Neil McCann's challenge on the goalkeeper. He was well entitled to go for it.
McCann was pretty brave in going for that one. Douglas always looked favourite to get it, but Neil McCann shown how much this game means to him going into that rough challenge. Lovely cross in from Johnson. Nicely worked move from Rangers, but McCann there going in against this huge frame of Douglas and coming off the worst.
Only 2.5 minutes of regulation time remaining, but there will surely be a few minutes of stoppage time to be added. So there is still time for this match to take another twist. Tebbley's clearance. Off the chest of Wilson. And Willie, the man of the match.
Yeah, there's quite a few candidates out there in the first half, mostly Celtic players, in the second Rangers players, but for me, man of the match is Bobby Petter. I think his control has been exceptional, showed some nice, lovely little flicks and touches, put in some very decent crosses and well, and I think just constantly has been a threat.
Lennon to Sutton. Rangers badly want possession back, and they have it with Johnston and now McCann. Up ahead of him only Flo. Rangers need more players forward. Arthur Newman now on the overlap. There's an angry exchange off the ball between Tebbley and Flo, but Lennon has it back. Agat to Larsson. Alan Thompson off in pursuit and tracked all the way by Tugai. There'll be some exhausted Rangers players in particular after this. One man down for the entire second half. And a foul given against Flo. 2 minutes stoppage time to be added on top of the 30 seconds left. So 2.5 minutes for Rangers to try to rescue something out of this, otherwise Celtic will move 12 points clear. Lambert against Ferguson, Scotland teammates. Newman back to Kloss.
The Celtic supporters looking for the final whistle already, but they'll need to wait a couple of minutes. Robert Malcolm stumbling under the challenge of Peta. Wilson to Conterman. The long ball for Flo. Tebele got there before McCann. The only goal scorer so far, Alan Thompson, and sends out a clear message there as he thumps the ball away. Not bother where it goes, as long as it goes.
Yeah, Celtic just really want to waste some time. They've got the lead. They're not really interested in scoring another goal. They just want to take the full 3 points, even though it is a slender lead, with Rangers still coming forward and still with the opportunity of levelling it.
Inside the last minute of the match, the second minute of stoppage time. Arthur Newman. An awkward shot because it skidded off the turf, but it was straight at Robert Douglas. And there won't be too many more opportunities to score in this match. Barry Ferguson's sliding challenge knocks the ball out of play. And Celtic, naturally enough, in no great hurry to take this throw. The celebrations are starting already. We've now played 2 minutes of added time. We're surely seconds away from the final whistle. And there it is. Martin O'Neill celebrates the polite handshake with Dick Advocaat. And surely Celtic have taken a giant stride, a decisive stride towards the league championship. Alan Thompson with the only goal of the game after 16 minutes. Maybe a touch of good fortune about it and the way it came around. Unsure defending from Rangers, punished by Thompson. And when Fernando Rickson of Rangers was sent off before half-time, you felt that was that. Rangers reorganised and fought back in the second half and produced a performance which was in sharp contrast to the way they played in the first half. But what they lacked was the cutting edge, and it's Martin O'Neill's team which comes out on top. A handshake for the match officials. But the one nagging doubt that you have in your mind, Willie, is that Rangers might well and should well have had a penalty kick.
Yeah, you really can't write the script for these games, can you? Because Rangers absolutely not in this game in the first half. Celtic totally dominated it. Celtic get the lead. Rangers have a man sent off just before half-time. Rejig things, go to a back four and put three into midfield with two guys coming on, and then start to dominate the game. Play extremely well with 10 men. Put an awful lot into it, perhaps. The cause has brought them together to produce that performance in the second half. But it was a super performance by Rangers in the second half. And with that penalty, there will be the lingering doubt that perhaps the stand-side linesman should have helped his referee a little bit more and perhaps given that spot kick. I'm sure Dick Advocaat will be looking at that after the game. He had a wry smile on his face at full time, and he'll be thinking that perhaps they were hard done by not to get that spot kick. I think over the piece, Celtic definitely dominated in the first half, streaks ahead of Rangers, but the second half, to Rangers' credit, they came back. It was a far closer game with a lot of good performances on both sides, and a game played in a reasonably good spirit as well. I think most of the fans here this afternoon enjoyed it. I certainly did.
So Celtic stretch their long unbeaten home record, their long winning record at home in domestic football. You have to go back 11 months to find the last time they lost in domestic action, and they move 12 points ahead of Rangers in the title race. And it's now difficult, almost impossible to contemplate that Celtic can be stopped in their relentless charge towards the title. A total transformation in the way Celtic perform these days under the management of Martin O'Neill, and it seems that Rangers and any thoughts they had of stopping Celtic have vanished on this dramatic Sunday afternoon at Celtic Park. Alan Thompson with the only goal of the game, and Rangers having Fernando Rickson sent off. Never a particularly dirty match, but Rickson was certainly guilty of far too many crazy challenges, and certainly once he'd been yellow carded, he was always treading that disciplinary tightrope, and he was eventually sent from the field. And you wonder if Rangers had had 11 on the pitch in the second half and had reorganised in the way they did, bringing Tugai into the play, whether or not they might just have clawed something out of the game. But that's all in the land of ifs and buts and maybes. The facts tell you that Celtic have got a priceless 3 points out of the third and final SPL game before the league becomes a table of two halves in early April. And a huge psychological victory for Celtic this afternoon as well over their deadly rivals. Let's hear from the man of the match, Bobby Petta. He's talking to Chick.
Bobby, you sure do like playing against Rangers, don't you?
Well, it's, haven't lost the other one 5-1, but I think I'm glad with the performance from everybody, and it's a good result today.
What is the secret of your success this season? How have things turned around so well, both for you and the club?
Well, hard work yourself, and I get a chance to play, and everybody's confident, and everybody works the bollocks off.
Let me be the first. I think you can say that. let me be the first to say to you, or the first one to ask you this question. Do you think the championship is now won?
Well, you still got a lot of games to play, but Rangers are the main contenders, for the title, and now we've got a gap of 12 points, so it will be difficult for them to get us.
I'm sure in the background you can hear the Celtic fans singing. I'm sure there'll be a few celebrations in your dressing room tonight.
I think so.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the games? It's now about not getting complacent and just getting. You're still games to be won, obviously.
Yeah, we just have to be focused, and play every game 100% and go in there with a 100% work rate.
Well, great performance today, Bobby. Congratulations. Thank you, Scotland man of the match. Okay. Sure that champagne will be open tonight.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Aye.
Bobby Petta, the man of the match. Alan Thompson was who got the goal and sparked the celebrations. They sounded like championship celebrations to me, Graham. Did it sound that way for you?
Yeah, we said before the game Rangers had to win here today. They've not done that. Celtic, unless they have a total collapse, will win the championship now.
It may not have been the prettiest of goals that Alan Thompson has ever scored, Mick, but it'll be up there in terms of the most important, I would think.
Time, yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy it more than any other. He had a great chance in the second half, which he missed. But I mean, it was laid on a plate from here by Henrik Larsson. I think both Graham and I thought he tried to shoot here, tried to open himself up and shoot, and it rolled in his path. Simple tap-in for him, very important goal.
You spoke about the psychological aspect beforehand. This is just such a... You're going to say it, he's down there with Chick Young.
Chris, that wasn't a classic match, but that wouldn't matter to you guys.
No, the main thing was the result. It was a hard fought. I thought Rangers did ever so well second half with 10 men, but the main thing was the result, and we held on well.
Did you enjoy that match?
Well, I enjoyed the result. I think me and Henrik, had to do a lot of running, as on Wednesday night, and I think we felt very tired at the end. But as I say, the main thing was the result, and it puts us in a good position.
It's better than a good position. It's a wonderful position for you. Do you feel now the championship has been won?
No, not by any means. I mean, when I was at Blackburn, we were well ahead with 5 or 6 games to go, and we blew up and only won it because of a result on the last day. So we've done well to put ourselves in this position, but with 12 games to go, we've still got some tough games ahead, and I don't think anybody's complacent, but we know what an important game it was today.
To be fair, Celtic do not look like a nervous side, do they?
No, I don't think we're nervous, we're confident. It wasn't a classic game today. I think all the other games there have been lots of goals. But I mean, we'd have taken that before the game.
Well done, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chick.
Well, there's the answer. He wouldn't see it, and no surprise, Graham.
Foul by Townsley, then maybe our behind-the-goal camera will change your mind. Lubo took the kick himself, and it was a gem. Celtic 1, Motherwell 0, and Moravchik needs to suck a lemon to wipe the smile off his face. Gorham at the other end of the emotional rainbow.
As their club...
I think we're on the same number of points. We've played 3 games, beat Malta, drew with Denmark at home, and lost last-minute goal to Iceland, so that was a big blow for us, really. If we'd have gone into the break, you know, unbeaten with 5 points, that would have been a big fill-up for us. But we've got 2 really big games, you know, difficult ones, Czech Republic at home and Bulgaria away. Although we're expecting 3 points in Sofia, like, you know, but not so sure about the Czech Republic.
I mean, is it going to be easy for Northern Ireland when they play Bulgaria?
No, I think not going to be easy, because if Bulgaria want to go to the World Cup, then they need to beat Northern Ireland. We watched 1 or 2 games, I can't remember. I think one game is Denmark against Northern Ireland, and they don't look bad, Northern Ireland. They look okay, but it will be gonna be a hard game. I think so.
Stellan, you're developing a Glasgow accent. You know that? A Bulgarian Glasgow accent.
A lot of people say that. I don't know.
Can he? He said, can he be that good?
Aye, can he?
Aye. As well.
Oh, obviously with Tim, you get a Scottish accent as well.
Oh, no, mine's bad enough as it is. You leave it alone, chick.
What's it like, the prospect of playing an international match against a teammate? Is there a bit of banter between you?
It's been good crack, like the build-up towards the game, and I didn't realise it was coming around so soon. So we've been having shooting competitions and training. Bulgaria v Northern Ireland, and he usually wins, like, you know, because my shooting's terrible.
Have you ever played in a game before, Stellan, where you, in an international match, where you've played against a teammate?
Yeah, I play against Jos Volgaren, Belgian, but I want to say it's good to play with Neil Lennon, but it's not good to play against him.
Well, you mean Volgaren's a difficult opponent and Lennon's not?
Oh, of course. I think because he's also playing midfield and I also play midfield, and we got some challenge.
Is there a bit of banter on the park, do you think? I mean, when you played against Volgaren, was there a bit of chat between you when the game was on?
No, it's nothing. I tried to speak him in the game, but he don't want to speak to me. He said, I'm not your friend now, and after the game. And it'll gonna be the same when I play against Neil.
Looking forward to this trip then. Have you ever been to Bulgaria before?
I haven't had the privilege of going there. I've been to a few Eastern Bloc countries, and I have to say, you know, that it's always difficult to go there. Played in Latvia and Ukraine, and I wouldn't book a holiday there, that's for sure. I don't know, I've heard Bulgaria is quite nice actually, Sofia and that, so I'm quite looking forward to it.
Latvia. It's a great, lovely place, Latvia.
Is that right?
So is Bulgaria. Right, you're working still in for the Bulgarian Tourist Board, and you're going to try and get you're going to try and get people. Listen, from...
The only thing good to come out of Bulgaria was one of the Wombles, I tell you.
Oh, Uncle Bulgaria, very good. You know who that is?
Obviously, sitting on that one chick. He hasn't got a clue. You know?
You got any idea who the Wombles are?
Aye, we're gonna do, you know, he can bring some couple of friends if he come to the game for a holiday if you want, you know, because I think Bulgaria gonna win. And if you want to bring some couple of games to see Bulgaria, I can show him some nice place in Bulgaria, you know.
What would Neil Lennon like about Bulgaria? I mean, you're beautiful women. You didn't like wait a minute, Stellan, you didn't like the Scottish women, is this true?
No, it's not true. It's that is the story. I didn't say that. Really, Bulgaria have a really nice woman.
I bet you any money there's an Irish bar in Sofia. Because they're everywhere.
There's 4 Irish bar.
I told you. Is there?
Aye, 4 Irish bar, and
so
you can enjoy.
Win, lose or drink, you can go for a pint of Guinness after.
After the game, you know, I'll be happy after the game. But if you're some sad, you know, if you want to stay at a hotel, I can take him out, no problem.
So, have you ever been to Northern Ireland?
No, I never been. I've been in Ireland, but no.
So, Neil, you're working for the Northern Ireland Tourist Board. You're trying to tell the guys what a great night in Belfast. How would you sell Northern Ireland to the Bulgarians?
Well, there's plenty of Irish bars.
And that reporter might take a bit of...
And I think it's important that he's brought in Rossi, the Moroccan international. He's a real strong...
And no one around here would be complaining if they played each other again for a 6th time, because that would mean that Dunfermline had finished in the top 6. It wasn't really too hard an ambition for Jimmy Calderwood right at the start of the season. Survival had to be the #1 target, but the way things have gone for the home team, they now want to be finishing in the top half dozen. Check out the team news a few minutes ago, but let's refresh ourselves with the 2 selections. Dunfermline make 3 changes from the team beaten 7-1 at Tynecastle last Saturday. Todd
Duisburg and McGroarty drop out. Back in come Rossi and Mossy. Youssef Rossi after into the bench. There was never a chance of Bobby Petta playing, so the team Valharan apart is the one which drew with Hibs. Last is Hugh Dallas. Dunfermline against Celtic, about to get underway. And if the match offers us as much drama as the cup tie just over a fortnight ago did here, then we won't be complaining too much. Celtic 10 points ahead of Rangers at the moment, looking to reopen that gap to 13. And as Dunfermline get the match started, they know that a win here today for them would put them back into 5th place in the SPL. First touch for Youssef Rossi, headed away by Jos Valharan, and again Ian Ferguson. Lots of steel and experience at the heart of the midfield for Dunfermline. Neil Lennon, Paul Lambert, Alan Thompson stopped in his tracks by Jason Dare. That's a trip by Dare on Lambert, and the first free kick of the match.
Yeah, it gets a little bit tight just in the touchline there. I think Lambert getting tripped up there, purely accidental.
Thompson's free kick, Larsson's back heel, lovely touch from Henrik Larsson. And Justin Skinner did well to cut out that deft little touch from Larsson, which almost set up his strike partner Sutton. So first set-piece opportunity for Celtic. There's Chris Sutton, and he's got Ramon Vega and Jos Valharan up as well in the penalty box. Mjalby is there, in from Thompson, out comes Rautenbeck. Got a punch to it. Not the most convincing, but it was Dijkhuizen who completed the clearance. And that's a real aerial bombardment early on from Celtic. Skerla won the header there. Skinner to Nicholson. Barry Nicholson, the former Rangers player, getting the treatment from Celtic supporters in the ground. And there's one of the goal threats for Dunfermline, the top scorer. 8 goals so far this season for David Moss. Andreas Skerla doing the tight marking job on Henrik Larsson. He was certainly very impressive a fortnight back, despite the fact Larsson scored twice. He takes a fair bit of watching. A heavy challenge from Scott Thompson on Chris Sutton, and a free kick. Vega and Mjalby sprinting into the penalty box. In from Alan Thompson. The header won by Henrik Larsson at the far post. But it wasn't really too damaging for Dunfermline.
No, it was a decent cross into the box from the free kick, but Dunfermline have defended these set pieces reasonably well in the early part of this game.
I think Henrik Larsson likes playing against Dunfermline. 5 goals already against the East End Park side this season. Dijkhuizen the target man. A miscue from Neil Lennon. Alan Thompson has it. Thompson playing left side midfield in the absence of Bobby Petta. Scott Thompson's header. That's Lambert. Chris Sutton tried to hold it up, couldn't quite get the control. Moss to Dare. Combines with Nicholson. Interception by Lennon. Thompson feinting to go inside, then out. And a disappointing cross for him at the end of it. Worked himself into a good position for the cross, but he didn't quite find the delivery.
No, I'd be disappointed with that delivery. Someone of his class, you would expect more. It was good lead-up work, good build-up work from Alan Thompson, but a very poor cross.
Marco Rautenbeck has been one of several strong signings made by Jimmy Calderwood. The combination of Rautenbeck, Rossi and Skerla gives them a pretty strong backbone. There is Rossi against Agat. Free kick given against Paul Lambert. With Lambert and Lennon around in the Celtic midfield, it's difficult sometimes to get the ball away. Skinner's free kick. Hugh Dallas indicating that David Moss was leading with his arm as he challenged for the high ball, and the free kick, Willie, goes against him.
Yeah, I thought there was definitely an arm raised there, but you know, it's a tight tussle, isn't it? They're two very strong players going for the ball, but I don't think there was any doubt that David Moss had his hand up in the face of Mjällby.
A change of ball. One ball from Robert Douglas, flicked on by Chris Sutton. Larsson's after it, but Breitenbeck was shielded by the combination of Skinner and Skerla. A flick from Dijkhuizen. David Moss gets himself into a good position. Cleared by Valharen. Good jump from Nicholson. Again, it's the Belgian Valharen who forces the ball away. Skerla's header, that's Skinner. Stilian Petrov, good skills, finds himself a little bit of time. Thompson for Larsson. Supported by Petrov. Early from Thompson for Sutton. Again, it was an awkward one to control. Flicked on by Moss. Away by Vega. Handball. Hugh Dallas wants the free kick taken a few yards further back. Ramon Vega, the central figure in the Celtic back three. His free kick aimed at Chris Sutton. Slight hesitation before Andreas Skerla cleared. Dijkhuizen's header went astray. Celtic back in possession. Was that the arm of Larsson? No, says the ref. Thompson. In went Moss to win it for Dunfermline. Crawford. Ian Ferguson hurried the pass.
Yeah, a little bit quickly played there forward by Ian Ferguson. You feel that Dunfermline really have got to try and get the foot in the ball a little bit better.
Chris Sutton battling for possession of the ball with David Moss. Paul Lambert encouraging Didier Agat to get down the touchline. But Agat might struggle this afternoon to get much joy against Youssef Rossi, who did such an impressive job against him a couple of weeks back. Rossi, who came off second best in an argument with a sprinkler while on international duty with Morocco during the week. We're still waiting for a condition report on the sprinkler.
He's a very impressive player though, Rossi. He's got a key role to play this afternoon against Didier Agat. Obviously a very offensive player who look to get forward at all times, and Rossi's got to make sure he marks him.
That's how Chris Sutton was injured in that challenge with David Moss. A 50-50 challenge, both entitled to go for it, Willie, I think, but it looked as if the way Sutton's foot maybe hit the ground was the cause of the problem here.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean to me. I felt that it was definitely 50-50. Both players going in for the ball in the same manner. Studs were pointed towards the ground. Chris Sutton just coming off the worst in that challenge.
No indications as yet from the Celtic technical area that Sutton is going to be replaced. They'll certainly want to get him back in action. Seems to be feeling his shoulder there. Lambert's pass for Larsson. Scott Thompson. Safety first. Lennon to Agat. out of play by Ian Ferguson, not Mr. Popular with the visiting support. Agat against Rossi. Nice touch, driven in, and good handling from Marco Rautenbeck. It was an awkward one, and this will be encouraging for Agat.
Yeah, without doubt, superb footwork here from Agat. Little trick, getting himself to the byline. Lovely cross into the near post. He'll be looking for a striker to come in there, but Rautenbeck dealing with it very well.
Ian Ferguson's header. Justin Skinner. And time for Agat to get the ball chested down. Scott Thompson on the back foot. Chested down by Moss for Ferguson. Skinner to Dare. Again, too quick with the pass and possession lost for Dunfermline. Larsson for Petrov. The first chance of the match, and Stilian Petrov takes it. 10 minutes gone. Celtic break through. Petrov's 8th goal of the season, and the Dunfermline defence was opened up.
Petrov just loves getting forward. Typical example here, getting himself through, clearing goal. He had a lot of work to do there, had to steady himself, but absolutely superb finish. Cool head, excellent pass through there from Henrik Larsson, and Petrov, wonderful finish from him.
And the timing of the pass and the run, both perfection, and as you saw from the first camera angle, Stilian Petrov was certainly onside. So Dunfermline punished there for giving possession away too easily, and how Celtic made them pay. Skinner, Ferguson, Skurla. Dunfermline are made of strong stuff. They showed that a fortnight ago in the cup tie, and now another test of their character to see how they respond to the early setback. Ferguson's pass. Jason Dare. In from Barry Nicholson. The head of Dijkhuizen. The free kick is Celtic's. On loan from Utrecht till the end of the season. Marinus Dijkhuizen. He's an awkward big customer, Willie, but not getting the benefit of the doubt there.
No, I actually thought it was David Moss who was penalised coming in at the back of Neil Lennon there and pushing into the back of Lennon. Hugh Dallas was right in the spot to give the free kick, and I think he was right in calling it that way.
Celtic have to make an enforced change after just 12.5 minutes. Chris Sutton, his shoulder injury is troublesome enough for him to have to come off, and Tommy Johnson is the replacement. Yalby's pass deflected on its way through to his international teammate Henrik Larsson. Powerful run from Agat. He got the cut back in, but there was enough of a challenge from Rossi to make sure that it wasn't too much of a problem for Rautenbeck. Ramon Vega fell heavily there, having won the header, but he's getting back to his feet now. Tommy Johnson did well to keep that in. That's a useful ball for Henrik Larsson. Just wide. Well picked out by the deep cross from Johnson. And you wouldn't have been too surprised to have seen this bulging the back of the net.
No, I thought it was going to be Celtic's second. Henrik Larsson, absolute superb play again. Just drifting off his marker towards the back post. Superb cross towards him. Larsson in the volley, just by the far post.
Nicholson's header. And up onto the roof of the stand by Jason Dare. Dunfermline have only lost twice here all season. Once against Celtic, once against Motherwell. But it's been a happy hunting ground for them. They've proved difficult to break down here. And they'll want to battle their way back into this match. Approaching 15 minutes into the match. Stilian Petrov's goal, the difference between the sides. Neil Lennon to Henrik Larsson. Alan Thompson turning away from there. Chipped over the top for Larsson. Couldn't quite get the control.
Totally dominating the midfield Celtic at this moment in time. Lovely little clip pass there for Larsson. He'll be a little bit disappointed that he didn't control that one.
It's been a comfortable opening to the match really for Celtic, and that's something Dunfermline will want to sort out.
Yeah, it is, and you know, Dunfermline not doing themselves justice, I feel, constantly giving possession back to Celtic, making life easy for them. When Celtic get the ball, they're totally dominant. The passing's been excellent in the midfield in particular.
Here's one reason for that, Neil Lennon. And Stilian Petrov. Lennon again, such a big influence on all the players around him. Thompson down the line for Johnson, cleared by Skinner. And from Thompson for a Agat. The header dips wide. That was off target, but this one from Stilian Petrov was very much on target. Played through by Henrik Larsson's pass, but he still had a lot to do at that stage. Henrik Larsson springing the offside trap, and this was a cool and composed finish from the Bulgarian international, and that's the only goal so far. Dunfermline still to get started, really. Free kick opportunity here. Scott Thompson's pushed forward. In from Ian Ferguson. Agat against Rossi. Back from the Moroccan to the Dutchman, Rautenbeck. And there's another Dutchman, a big one as well, Linus Dijkhuizen. Skurla, Nicholson. Won by Petrov. Such an impressive midfield unit, Celtics. Back from Crawford to Dare. Skinner to Moss. That's better from Dunfermline. Nicholson to Crawford. They really need to keep the ball. Scott Thompson, a big player for Dunfermline. Barry Nicholson again. Crawford, hooked away by Valhalla. This is the first real pressure on the Celtic defence. Too heavily hit the pass from Ian Ferguson. And Barry Nicholson didn't have a chance of getting on the end of it.
He didn't. It was a disappointing pass there from Ian Ferguson, but some better passing from Dunfermline. Jimmy Calderwood will be far happier, shaking his head there, but deep down he'll be happier that his team have actually put their foot in the ball, got some passes strung together, although he'll be disappointed with the Ian Ferguson final pass.
Rossi just beyond Stevie Crawford. I'm talking with Jimmy Calderwood, of course. He was in your old school team, wasn't he? You've got some embarrassing photographs of him, Willie.
He certainly was. I hope to get a hold of him after the game and show him a photograph of both of us, age 11.
Yep, I think we could get some money out of him for that. 19 minutes gone at East End Park. The BBC Live match, Dunfermline 0, Celtic 1. Dijkhuysen's header. Down for Ferguson. The utility man, Thompson. Crawford's knocked down. Cleared by Valharen. Stevie Crawford again. Outnumbered as much as anything else there, but wins it back after Mjällby's slip. Mjällby's throw, and a foul on Larsson by Thompson. Dunfermline going for zonal defending this time, Willie, rather than man marking, which they went for last time.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked too well for them, I would suggest, particularly at the goal situation. They really did get caught out badly there.
It's an effort from Johan Mjällby, which clips the top of the crossbar on its way over. Firstly, the header from Valharen, then the dipping effort here from the Swede.
Oh, a bit difficult to describe that effort there from Mjällby. The ball just bouncing up in the air from the head. He just got a little touch on it, almost got away with it. A little lob looking to get it over the top of the goalkeeper's head.
Paul Lambert, industrious his effort. And a little touch from Petrov took the ball away from Skinner, who was committed to the challenge. That meant he was late, and that meant free kick.
A little bit untidy, wasn't it? I don't think there was too much malice in it, but an untidy challenge and the free kick given.
Another threat for Dunfermline with Valharen and Vega and Mjällby all forward. Lennon's free kick, and Marco Rettenbeck was backtracking anxiously there with the ball swirling over his head, and he had to readjust himself here, Willie, and concede the corner.
He didn't handle it too well. You wouldn't be happy seeing a goalkeeper do that on too many occasions. You had plenty of time to see that ball coming. You'd expect him to take it far cleanly than he did.
35 and 36 waiting. Mjällby and Vega. There's Tommy Johnson and Valharen alongside as well. In from Alan Thompson. Cleared at the near post by David Moss. Lambert to Lennon. Vega's header is dangerous. Turned away by Andreas Skerla. Just slipped. Dunfermline only have themselves to blame.
They certainly do, constantly giving the ball away. Again, they're Jason there, playing it right to Lennon. Thompson been very prominent down this left-hand side, driving in. Don't think there's any doubt. A little tug from Ian Ferguson on the jersey for the free kick.
This is a pale shadow of the Dunfermline team I saw a couple of weeks ago playing in the cup tie. Very impressive, very cohesive that day. Knew exactly what they were doing, but they've still to click so far this Sunday afternoon. And a free kick to face up to here, and a quick confab between Tommy Johnson and Henrik Larsson. There's the view from behind the ball. 5 in the wall for Dunfermline, with Jason Deere just alongside. Here comes Henrik Larsson. It's 2-0. A wonderful strike by Larsson, his 40th goal of the season. And Celtic, you would have to say, are on easy street.
Yeah, it's a wonderful strike from Henrik Larsson. Superb player he is, but you do feel that that side of the goal has got to be covered. The wall is taking care of the far side, but Rautenbeck, he should really have that covered. They made a far better effort, albeit it was a superbly struck free kick from Larsson.
It seemed almost, Willie, there as if he was frozen to the spot. I mean, Martin O'Neill certainly enjoyed every moment of it, but it looked as if Rautenbeck was just frozen for a moment there.
Yeah, I felt he got himself blinded behind his own wall. He made the step, anticipating the curl over the wall, got himself blinded. Larsson put it in the corner that he should have been covering.
Well, if it was difficult for Dunfermline at 1 down, it's getting nearer and nearer to mission impossible at 2 down, but they've proved themselves before capable of a comeback. What can they do here? Andreas Skerla shot well. Be grateful for small mercies if you're a Dunfermline fan. That's a shot on target, but it certainly wasn't going to beat Robert Douglas. Dunfermline not hitting the highest standards they've set this season at the moment. And when you let Celtic get 2 goals ahead of you, it's going to be difficult to peg that sort of lead back.
They brought it on themselves, Dunfermline. You know, the passing has been very disappointing. Jimmy Calderwood, I'm sure, won't be happy. He'll get a minute at half-time. Try to point out that you've got to find your own men on the park, particularly against a team of the calibre of Celtic.
Valhaden pushing forwards. What an impressive signing he's been for Martin O'Neill. Settled in as if he's always been there. Same could be said of Neil Lennon. It's a good system, a strong system, and at the moment Dunfermline can't cope with it. And here they are on the counter-attack with Dijkhuizen, Stevie Crawford, David Moss getting into the box. Still it's Crawford. Overdid it, and lost the ball, and now Dunfermline trudge back down the field